afternoon and welcome to today's Sport Rep Show. My name is Limba Mupetami. Let's dive into today's sport news. Starting off, the names of the Brave Gladiators squad to face Zambia in the Africa Women's Cup of Nations.
I understand you said that
From 52 players to 30, the team has been cut. This number will still be trimmed to 25 as the team gears to face Zambia in Lusaka on 16th February and then on a later date again for the second leg in South Africa. Jesse Jackson Karaitha, our sports presenter, caught up with the head coach of the team, Woody Jacobs, to share his thoughts on the upcoming match. Have a look.
I understand you said that you want this and you are going to claim that glory this time around. You are going to qualify. Confident saying that, what gives you this much confidence at this time?
To be honest with you, Jesse, and I've said it so many times, is the belief that I see, the will, the hunger, the drive, the commitment of these girls that basically make me say these things, because I can see it in their eyes, I can see it in the way that they are learning, the way they are working hard and getting themselves in the best possible shape. So that is what grows or that fuels this belief in me that we're going to make it. Okay. But I'm wary. I'm also aware of what Zambia possesses, the strength that they have, the fact that they've been around the block. But everything in football has a culmination. Everything in football has a cycle that it runs. And I think this team is reaching that climax. It's reaching that period in their careers where they want to go on to the next level. So that's what makes me believe like this.
Thank you so much.
The Namibia Football Association referees coordinator, Absalom Goseb, is happy with the quality of refereeing at the Africa Cup of Nations. He also spoke about a recent incident of Zambian referee Yanni Sikwazi, who blew the whistle to end the game twice before the 90th minute in the Africa Cup of Nations match between Tunisia and Mali. Have a listen to this.
The Goseb, a well-known former referee and a referee administrator, great having you on the show today. Could you just tell us what have you made of the refereeing at the Africa Cup of Nations so far?
Man, the better of African Cup of Nations, the tournament itself. As usual, the tournament has their own rules even, given that admission by FIFA to have their own tournament. Apart from that, I don't have the rules of the tournament as such. But what I've observed and seen there about my referees, about our referees in Africa, the quality is there. Discipline is there as far as the laws of the games are concerned. But there are some human errors that they made who can be corrected in the next games.
Yes.
And the most one what people might cry for is the one of Nakasa of Zambia.
Yes.
He is one of our 3 first African or Southern Africa referees. Best one. What happened that day with him have happened. We cannot call it as a human error, and we cannot even call it maybe he do it by mistake, but something have happened to him. Because as a profession, he's a teacher, he's a principal for that matter, and he cannot panic for that matter on that day.
On that day, yes.
And that match was not that much high to lose his concentration. So something else has happened what we don't know exactly.
Okay.
But it has caused not the game, but football in general, and the performance of the referees in all.
Okay. What would your word of encouragement be to Namibian referees to watch this kind of officiating and level?
We have groups, WhatsApp groups in refereeing in Namibia. And I'm so happy. My young referees, mostly the young ones, take clips from that games, and they are starting to bring it up on a clip and they discuss these clips, and I'm so happy how they discuss it, how they go through the clips frame by frame, and they are busy. They are busy. I can show it on my phone. They are totally busy. Every match, not even only CAF, every match they are watching refereeing and not football. And they are learning out of this. And this is a big encouragement, and they can go far for that.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, boss.
Cassius Moetie, the PRO of the Namibia Football Association, wants to bring peace between the media and the Namibia Football Association, claiming that he was unhappy with the reports some sports journalists have been giving in recent times. Once again, Jesse Jackson Karatha caught up with Cassius Moetie, and so have a listen to this. But right after that, we're going to take a short break, and then once we get back, we'll have more sports news for you. So watch this.
Mr. Moetie, thank you for joining us on the Sport Rep Show. It is indeed an honor having you here. As the new public relations officer of the NFA, the person who will be responsible with everything at the NFA, especially in terms of relationships with the media and all, how do you intend on making this a success?
Well, firstly, I need to build a relationship with your media house, Namibian Sun, because I still need a one-on-one conversation with yourself, and even up to the level of editor-in-chief, so that I can start at that level to start building a relationship. Okay. When I was outside the NFA, I have followed with keen interest the narrative of how media reports are written and even produced for radio and TV by sports journalists, and particularly on the NFA in particularly. And I was extremely worried how sports reporters in the press and on television and radio have covered NFA stories.
What could make?
I was worried about that.
Mr. Moetie, Mr. Moetie,
I am explaining to you.
Yes.
I was worried about the narrative that came out. It was, in all likelihood, not very positive. I came in with a philosophy to build the NFA brand, and I realized that journalists, sports journalists in particular, are one very, very important stakeholder that I cannot neglect. So I want to have that one-on-one engagements with media practitioners, sports reporters, so that I can just understand what is it that angered them so much that they often write so negative about the brand, and the brand has been damaged beyond repair at this stage.
Okay, Mr. Moetie,
So
can I give you that this report and you claiming that journalists have reporting this with anger and all, I don't think that it would be fair, because that if you look at the reports, these were reports, or most of the times were things coming from NFA officials themselves. Journalists were not quoting themselves. So what do you think of that? What do you make of that? I don't think it would be fair to suggest that it came from the journalist's mouth, because I'm sure most of the times when you read this negative news, it would come from individuals of the NFA. I think to start with is managing the relationships between individuals within the NFA. Isn't that correct?
No, it's not correct, because I was not within the NFA at the time for me to know it came from individuals within. I speak from the perspective of a journalist. I am a journalist by training. I have worked in media houses, in newspapers, and as well as in television. And I know what it requires a journalist, and how you need and what is expected from you to produce a story. So and in all likelihood, I've seen stories that have been written, and there has been no comment from the association to balance that story. I could also sense personalities that are brought in a story, and ambition and self-interest that was pushed. So that's not why why I'm here. I'm here to focus on the brand of NFA and to rejuvenate the brand, to bring healing to the brand. Right now, that brand is bleeding, and we were all responsible for it, whether it is people within the NFA, whether it's people outside the NFA, and including the media. We were all part of it. Now, I've realized that for me, I'm looking forward to build that relationship, to engage the media, so that we can all take hands and build the brand that I think is an adorable brand that can save so many livelihoods in terms of keeping our youth from the street. So that is my job, and I need your assistance to make sure that I discharge my responsibilities as the manager, marketing and communications with distinction.
Well, Master Moetie, I think we will also need your assistance in terms of this, because it's one thing to say that journalists are at fault at all times. We know the fights that have been within the NFA, and it's no secret. And it won't be fair to taint that the journalists or the newspapers in terms of that. I think the most important thing that we have to do here is harmonize, bring harmony with journalists, with Football Association, and within the Football Association itself, because we are not the ones that actually brought the executive to a division and all. We know that the executive game was divided. So, Mr. Moetie, I think we will invite you to the studio for more conversations going forward in the show to outline your plan. It has been an honor having you here.
I'm not done. I still want to make the point.
But Mr. Moetie, we just have enough minutes. We will. Okay, can you say something in your conclusion?
I want us to respect each other's views. I have great respect for yours, and I want you to reciprocate same. So going forward, and as I told you at the beginning, I want to build relationships. And I have never blamed the media outright. I've said we are all responsible, and if I say all, media is inclusive. Okay. So the relationship that I'm focusing on, so that we can bury what happened in the past, and that we look at the NFA with the new leadership that it has, in terms of the Secretary General Franco Cosmos, that our real intention is to build the brand, and we will never achieve this without the media. Yes. And we can do that as a collective, because we have all loved that brand, and you all want to see that that brand should grow from great to even greater heights. So if that is the understanding between you and I think we will take this brand very, very far.
Okay. Thank you so much.
No problem.
Well, that was quite an engagement between our presenter Jesse Jackson and Cassius Moetie of the NFA. Well, now moving onwards, for as long as there's professional sports, there will be sports stars, locally and internationally. Figures like Christine Boma, Beatrice Masilengi, Peter Shalulile, Harry Simon Jr., and the list goes on. These stars have become household names, with their most famous moments featured in countless news stories. Today's sports star is Harry Simon Jr., the son of legendary boxer Harry Simon Sr. The 24-year-old boxer has 15 undefeated fights so far and is climbing the boxing ladder slowly but surely. We caught up with him, and this is what he had to say.
Yo. Harry Simon Jr., man. Back in the building, yeah. 15-0 prospect out of Namibia. You all probably already know. Son of a former legend. Okay, training for 2022 has been awesome. We've been doing all the right things. My coaches, Ims Moses and Martin, have been doing the best, and we have produced results, and we cannot wait for the fights to come so we can show you all what we've been doing. As you can see, the arms are already strong, boosted. Top score, power in the kick. Okay, yeah. So far, I only had one fight last. I had two fights last year. Last fight was in December 17th at Nampo Conventional Center, and I fought. I don't even remember the guy, because it was such an easy fight. Good training produces good results, and yeah, that's what we're aiming. 2022, main objective, main goal is to get into the top 15 rankings. Hopefully, we will push hard enough to drop below the top 9, and from there, sky's the limit for us. So all we want to say is, don't look at Ryan Garcia, Devin Haney, those small young boys from America, and look at them for inspiration. No. We are here. We are here to do our thing, man. We are here. AC Promotions, we are here. We're going to do big things. 2022, watch out for us.
The future does definitely look very bright for Harry Simon Jr. Now, we cross over now to our international correspondent, Ari Hogard, that is, who brings us the latest on the world of international sport. So have a listen to this.
Good day to everyone. It's time to talk international sport, and lots of sports happening all over the globe. And let's start off with the Beijing Olympics 2022, the Winter Olympics. That's going to start on this weekend. The opening ceremony is this Friday, the 2nd of February. And the news from Beijing is that the torch relay started, and 135 torch bearers in action over the next few days. And the torch will be taken through a few regions that's going to be involved with the Beijing Winter Olympics. And in the picture there, it is the astronaut Xing Jinping that is one of the torch bearers that also took the torch to through one of these regions. And so lots of countries that's involved, 91 nations that will be involved in the Winter Olympics this year, 2,871 athletes that will be in action. So the opening ceremony this coming Friday, and the last day of the Winter Olympics will be on the 20th of February. Let's move on to some cycling news. It is the Saudi cycling tour that started. It was a tough first leg, first section. It was 198 kilometers, and it was quite competitive right to the end. It started in the Medina region of the Saudi Arabia, and it was a tight sprint finish in the end, and it was Australian Caleb Evans, if he's from the Lotto Sodal team, that came out as the winner of the first stage of the Saudi cycle tour. In second place in the first section of the first leg was Martin Laas, and he is from Estonia, and he is from the Zora team. So the second stage is also quite long. It's going to be 163 kilometers, and so again it's the Saudi cycle tour, and at the moment it is Caleb Evans of Australia that's leading. Let's move on to some rugby news. It is still summertime in the Southern Hemisphere, but there's rugby happening all over the globe. And significant in the Northern Hemisphere is the Six Nations that will start again this coming weekend. And it's defending champions Wales that will be playing away against Ireland. And then Scotland will host England. Both of those games will be on Saturday. Then on Sunday, it will be France that will play at home against Italy. And also behind the scenes, it is South African rugby that continue to lobby to be part of the Six Nations in future. Obviously, the franchises, the four franchises of South Africa already playing in leagues in Europe. And there's lots of talk behind the scenes that South Africa might be included in the Six Nations as from after the 2023 World Cup. Not sure if it will be to replace Italy and it will remain Six Nations, or it might be that South Africa will be added. But there's talk that South Africa might replace Italy in future, but that's all still speculation. And but news for now is that the Six Nations start this coming weekend. Defending champions Wales, they play against Ireland in their first game on Saturday. Now for some American sporting news. It is the NFL, that's the National Football League, or some know it as Gridiron, and the Super Bowl final will be played on the 13th of February in 2 weeks' time, a week and a half's time. And the final will be played at the very impressive SoFi Stadium, that is Super Bowl 56, and that is in Los Angeles. And the Los Angeles Rams, they actually qualified to play in their home stadium, the final. They beat the 49ers in the semi-final by 20 points to 17, and they will face the Cincinnati Bengals. The Bengals, it was a bit of a surprise in them beating the Kansas City Chiefs by 27 points to 24. So the final will be played on the 13th of February in the SoFi Stadium. That's the Rams playing the Bengals. And also some NFL news or Gridiron news. It is Tom Brady. He's probably known as the most successful quarterback that played NFL in history. He won 7 Super Bowl titles, 6 of them for the New England Patriots and 1 in his last season for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. But he's 44 years old and he announced his retirement after 22 seasons. So well done, Tom Brady. That is a record, 7 Super Bowl wins. That's a record that's going to be difficult to be beaten. With that, I conclude for the international sport news for today. Have a great day, everyone. We talk again tomorrow. Goodbye.
Thank you so much, Ari, for that insight on international sports. Now, with that, we have come to the end of today's show. Please catch us again tomorrow at 15:30 for a fresh edition of sports that is local and international content. With that, goodbye.